Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this video we are going to create this website from Frontend Mentor Challenge. So I have chose this website from Frontend Mentor Challenge, and the link of this challenge will be in the description below, so you can check it out from there. And we'll be creating this website from scratch using Next.js and Tailwind CSS. This will be having a responsive navbar, pretty simple website which we can create using HTML, CSS, JavaScript as well. But as I use Next.js daily, so we can create this with Next.js as well, and it will be pretty simple to host it in Vercel. So let's go back to our VS Code and start creating. As you can see here, I've opened my terminal, and here I need to create the next app. So as I am using pnpm to create my next app, so pnpm dlx create next app at latest, then give a space here and give a dot here so that it will create this next app in the same directory as it is open. So this is the folder name. So if I hit enter, so we will keep it default. So just hit enter and it will install all.
A few moments later.
Alright, as you can see, our next app has been created, and we can write here code dot so that it opens it in VS Code. As you can see, all the files are installed, and so this is the home page. That is page.tsx. We don't need this code, so we will clear this all. But before that, we need to do one thing. We need to check our server is running or not. So pnpm run dev. If you hit enter, it will run our server. It will run our server at 3001 because my final project is running at 3000. So control click so that it will open it in a Chrome page. The first compilation time takes time, so give a second. As you can see, our next app is running. Now let's do one thing. We need to clear all this. So just select everything inside this main tag and just remove it. We don't need this class name as well. Alright, if I save this and go back, as you can see, everything is gone. Now let's go to our final project and see what we can do first. So first we need to do this navbar. But before that, we need to import some of the assets that are required for this project. So let me import those assets to my this file and show it to you. Alright, as you can see, I have imported all the images that are required for this project. Now this folder contains all the images required for desktop version of our screen, and this folder contains all the images that are required for the mobile version of our screen. And these are some common icons and SVGs that are required throughout our project. So I have imported all. For now, let's close this and start creating our project. So first, what we need to do, we need to go to our layout.tsx file and we need to change something there. So let's go to our layout.tsx file. So here, as you can see, this is our layout.tsx file. So this is kind of a parent file of everything under this app folder. So whatever we need to change will come under this children, and something which we need to have constant, like the navbar, which will be present in every pages, we can keep it above this children so that it will be constant throughout every page. So what we can do, hit enter here and hit enter here. What we can do, we can create a div, and this div will have a class name of container, and it will also have a class name of mxauto. Now here we need to create our navbar. So type here navbar. Obviously we have not created our navbar, so it will show error. So what we can do, we can go to our source folder, and in the source folder we can create another folder called components. So components, and within this we can create a file named navbar.tsx. Now type here rafc. Now this rafc is coming from an extension called React Redux snippet. The exact one is ES7 React Redux snippet, something like this. So you can install that, and with that you will get this snippet kind of a thing which you can write, and it will create a React functional component. So now let's create our navbar. So our navbar will be here. So let's change this div to nav, let's say. Now this nav element will have some class name, so let us do that. So it will have a class name of height of 10vh, then it will have a flex property, items will be center, and it will have a justify between as well. The padding x will be 5, and it will also have a relative property. This you can understand later when we do our mobile nav link, so this will be important. So within this nav tag we can write link. Now this link is coming from next link, as you can see. Now this link will hold our logo. So it will have an image element which is coming from next image. Now this image element will have source attribute. So we need to import our image from public folder. So what we can do, we can write import logo from /public /logo.svg. Now we can come down here and write within this curly braces logo. Now in image element, we need to give alt property. It is not optional. So this alt property will be logo. Now if I save this, and we need to give href as well, otherwise it will show error. So it will target to home page. So whenever we click our logo, it will go to our home page. But as this is a single page project, we really don't need this, but it is nice. So we save this, go to our layout.tsx file, and let's import our navbar. Now this error will be gone. Now if I go back, as you can see, our logo is visible. Now let's create the left hand side of this. So let's go to our navbar, and under this link we can create desktop navbar will go here. So we can create a div. So here what we can do, under this div we need to create our nav links. So what we can do, we can create an constant file where we will predefine it with array of objects. It will hold our nav links. Then we can import it here and map over it. So what we can do, in our source folder we can create another folder named constant, and within this constant folder we can create a file named as constant.ts. Now this constant.ts will have our constants. So we can have our array of objects of nav links in our navbar.tsx file as well. But I am creating this constant.ts file because if we have some more constants that are required to be mapped in our project, we can predefine it here, and it will be less cluttered in our main page. So go to our constant.ts file. Here we can write export const nav links, give an equal to sign here, and we have array. Now this array will have a name, and it will be about. Then it will have a href, which will be /about. Now it is a single page project, so we don't really have /about page, but it's good to have href because at least we can see that our nav links are working. So the next name will be services. It will also have a href of /services, and last but not least, it will have a name of projects, and the href of this will be /projects. Alright, save this. Now we can go back to our navbar, and here we can map over it. So we can write nav links, hit enter. It will automatically import it from constant/constants file, and we can write here .map. It will have a data and index, and this will be like this. Now remember, if you give curly braces here, you need to add a return statement here. You need to add return here. Otherwise, if you are giving this first bracket, you don't need to give any return. So we need a link tag from next link. So like this. So within this link, we need to add our names, data.name, and this link tag will have a href of data.href. Now if I save this and go back, as you can see, our nav links are visible. So now let's add some class names here so that it looks something like this. So let's go to our project, and also remember, you need to give your key index. Now this is important because with this React organizes the links. Alright, now this div, which is our parent div for our nav links, have some classes. But before that, we need to import our fonts. As you can see, these fonts we need to import, as this one is different from this one. As you can see, these are all different fonts which you need to import. So let me do that and show it to you. Alright, as you can see, I have imported the fonts. So this is our first font, and the Barlow is our second font. Now we can use this by going to our tailwind.config.ts file, and we need to write some code here. So this is our container which I added. So in default, it will have a space of 1 rem from both left and right side. Similarly in SM, LG, XL, and 2XL screen size. So here I have added font family. So the font title will be this one, and font body will be Barlow. So then what I have done within this extend, I have added all the colors that are required for this project. As you can see, if I go to a panel project, so this is a color which are required for this project. So I have initialized it here, and now we can use it in our navbar and anywhere we need. So give a class name here. Alright. Now this class name will have a property of hidden, which means normally it will be hidden, but in Excel screen it will have a flex property. Then it will also have an item center property as well. It will have a gap of 4. Font will be body, so it will be using font body, and the font weight will be medium, and it will have a text base size, so it will be 16 pixel. Now if I save this and go back, as you can see, this is our nav link. Now this link element will also have class name. So right here class name, and it will have a property of text white. Alright, whenever we hover, text color will be text white /60, and it will have a transition all property. Transition all. Now if I save this and go back, whenever I hover, as you can see, it is little bit darker. Alright, now let's add the button. This button, as you can see, this one. Now this button will be a simple button, so we can write button, and within this button we need to write contact, and this button will have a class name of px5, py of 2, text will be black, text lg, it will have a font of title, and it will also have a font bold as font width. It will also have bg white, and it will have rounded full property. So rounded full, whenever we hover, the bg will be white of 30, so like this, and whenever we hover, the text will be text white, and it will also have a transition all property, so like this. Save it. If I go back, as you can see, our button is visible. Now our desktop navbar is done, so let's do our mobile navbar as well, as we are doing our navbar. So now what we can do, under this div we can give a comment here, let's say mobile navbar, and under this we can start creating our mobile navbar. So give a div here. So this div will have some class names, so give your class name here, and this div will have a class name of block, so which means initially it will have a block property, which means visible, but whenever the screen size is XL or above, it will have a property of hidden. So this is our mobile navbar, so whenever our screen size is above XL, we don't want to show our mobile navbar, as our desktop navbar will be triggered. So we want to show our desktop navbar whenever our screen size is above XL. So that's why here I have written hidden and XL is flex. So it will be hidden whenever the screen size is below XL, and it will be visible above. So now under this div, we can do one thing, we can create another div, and within this div, we need to import our hamburger image. So let's import our hamburger image here. So import hamburger icon from, so our hamburger icon is in our public folder, as you can see, icon.hamburger. So let's import that. So we also need to import our close icon, so I think here, so let's copy this, and it will be icon close, and here we can write close. Alright, now we need to create a state so that we can manage our on-click functionality. So at the top here we can write const is nav open, and we can also write set is nav open. Now it will have a useState property. Now in Next.js, if we are using useState like this, it will throw an error. So we need to use client above here, so that it will convert this server page to a client page. So use state. Now this will be boolean. Now you don't need to give this, as I am using TypeScript. We can specify that. Now after this, we need to create a handle navbar function. So let's create that. So const handle navbar. Now let's create it as an arrow function. This will have simple thing which is set is nav open to not equal to is nav open. Now what this does is whenever we click over that hamburger, if the hamburger is visible, it will close it, and if it is closed, it will show it. Simple. So now what we can do, we can simply copy this, and in this div we can give a on click and paste it here. Alright, now what we can do, we can create a curly braces here. Now we can say if is nav is open, then we need to show certain image. So image which will be coming from next image. So the source will be hamburger close, so it will be icon close, and alt will be icon close button, and give a colon here, otherwise it will show an image of hamburger. So give a source here, and it will be hamburger icon, and alt will also be hamburger icon. Now save this. If I go to my page, reduce the size, as you can see our hamburger is visible. Let me do this, and as you can see our hamburger is visible. If I click it, as you can see the cross sign is visible. So let's close this. Now we need to create our nav link for our mobile section as well. So what we can do, under this div, give a curly braces here and write if is nav is open, and then it will show something. So that will be our nav links for our mobile. So create a div here. Now this div will have a class name of flex call, justify center, item center. It will also have an absolute property. The top will be 32, and it will have a right of 0. So right 0. It will also have a width of full. PG will be white. Text will be black. So, and the padding is 10. It will also have a space Y of 5. So let's say 5. It will have a font of body, and it will have text SM as size. So the font size will be 14 pixel, and it will also have a font of medium. That means the font width will be 500. Open this div, and within this div we need to create another div. So create a div here. Now this div will also have some class names, so let's write that. This div will have a class name of W0, which is width 0. Now this div is our triangle. If I show you that, if I go to our final project and let's click here, as you can see there is this triangle. Now this div is that triangle. So let's close that and let's create that. So width is 0, height is 0. It will have absolute property. It will have top 0. It will have a right 0. We can write minus translate y of, so we need to give particular translate value. So in Tailwind CSS we can do like this. Now the translate x will be, we need to give particular value here too, so it will be 0.2 pixel. We'll have a property of border L, it will be 25 pixel, and it will have a border L of transparent. It will also have a border bottom of 30 pixel. It will have a border bottom white, so white. After that it will have a border right of 25 pixel, and after that we will have a border right of transparent, so transparent. Now if I save this, now it will look very ugly as we don't have our navbar. As you can see, it's visible. Now let's create our nav links for our mobile nav bar. So let's go here, let's create a curly braces here, and within this, similarly what we have done in text of screen size, we can write navlinks.map. It will have a data property and it will have an index property. Then we can write here link, which will be coming from next link. This will have our data.name within it. It will have a href of data.href and also have a key property of itx. Alright, let's save this and go back. As you can see, our nav links are visible. Now let's create that button, which is this one. As you can see here, this button. So to do that, what we can do, under this nav link, we can create a button tag, and here we can write contact. Alright, now this contact button will have some class names. So the class name will be px of 5, py of 2, text will be black, text size means font size will be LG, and the font will be title. It will have a font bold property as well. Now this will have a property of PG yellow. Now yellow is coming from tailwind.config.ts file, which we created here, and this is showing error because I'm using a wrong class name. Now this will be font bold. Now the error will be gone. It will have a rounded full property, so rounded full. It will also have a hover property. So whenever we hover, the PG will be white and it will have a 30% opacity. Whenever we hover, the text will be white, so text white, and it will also have a transition all property so that it is smooth whenever we hover. Now in mobile we don't have hover, but it's okay to add. Alright, now if I save this and go to our Chrome page, as you can see, our mobile nav bar is visible. Now if I close this, alright, it's working. So our nav bar is done. Now we need to focus on our hero section of this project. So to create our hero section, what we need to do, in our component folder, we need to create another file, name it as hero.tsx. Type here rafce. It's working here. Alright, now we don't need this. Alright, what we can do, we can change this div to section. Alright, section, and this section will have a class name of height of 90 vh, and within this section we will create a div. This div will have a class name of absolute. Top will be 0, and the left will be 0. Width will be full, and the z index is minus 50, so minus z 50. Now within this we will create our hero image. So import our image element from next image. Now this will have a source property and an alt property as well. Now let's import our hero image. Now after this we need to import our mobile hero image as well. So simply duplicate it. We can change this desktop to mobile. Alright, save this, and within this SSC we can write hero desktop, and it will be hero image for desktop. Alright, now this image will have some class names as well, so let us give that. So class name will be hidden, and it will have a height of screen. It will have object cover property. MD screen or above, it will be block, and the width will be full. After that we can create our hero image for our mobile. So simply do this, and within the source tag we can write hero image mobile, and the alt tag will be, simply copy this, paste it here and change this to mobile. And it will also have a class name, so give class name here of block. Height will be screen, object will be cover, in empty screen it will be hidden, and width will be full. Now if I save this and if I go back, it will not be visible because I need to go to our page.tsx file here and import our hero component here. So import our hero component from component/hero, save it, and if I go back, alright, it's not visible because global.css, we need to remove this. As you can see, now it's visible. So we removed our black background which was there previously. Now let's go to our hero.tsx file and let's create this one, this text and this arrow. So let's go to our VS Code, and under this div we can create a div, and this div will have a class name of width full, dy will be 12, height will be 89 vh. Now I'm giving this because I've already tried with this and it's working for me, but you can try it for yourself. Whichever height is working for you, you can use that. Now this div, now it will have a h1 tag, and we can write here we are creatives, and this h1 element now will have a class name of text 7xl. So normally the text will be 7xl size. In empty screen the text will be 6xl. Font will be bold. Will have text white. Alright. Font will be title. It will also have a text center property. Now it will have a tracking property of tight initially, but in empty screen or above it will have a tracking of widest. MB will be 24, which is margin bottom. In MD screen or above, it will have a margin bottom of 80, and in Excel screen or above, it will have a margin bottom of 32. Alright, if I save this and go back, as you can see, this text is visible in our home page. Now let's create that arrow. So to create that, we can write here div just under our h1 element. Now this div will have a class name of flex justify center, and it will have a image element which is coming from next image. As always, it will have a source and it will have a alt of, let's say, arrow. So we need to import our arrow image from our public file. So the arrow image is this one, icon arrow down, and go to here, and I can write arrow down. Alright, now if I save this, as you can see, the arrow is visible now. Now we have created our hero section. So if I reduce the screen size, as you can see, this is how it will be visible in mobile and tablet as well. So now let's focus on our next section, which is this one, transform your brand. So what we can do, similarly what we have done for our hero.tsx file, we can go to our component folder and create a file named it as transform.tsx. Type here rfce. Now change this to section. Now this section from our transform component will have some class names as well. So give here class name of width full. It will have a grid property and it will have grid calls of 1 at first. In Excel screen or above, it will be grid calls of 2. It will have justify between. Items will be center. Now let's create the left side. So let's give here a comment left side. Now in left side we have our text. As you can see, this is our text, and in the right side we have our image. So what we can do, we can create a div here. Now this div will have a class name of space y of 10, py of 8. It will have a flex property. Items will be center. In Excel screen or above, the items will be at starting position. We'll also have a justify center property, flex call. It will have a px of 10. Text will be center, and in Excel screen or above the text will be left, and after that in Excel screen or above the padding left will be 36, and it will have a order last property. Now this is a Tailwind CSS property which will help us in ordering our divs. So this is our first div, and there will be another div for our image. So whenever the screen size is reduced, which means in our mobile screen, the design says that this image will be coming first, then it will be having the text. But whenever the screen size is above mobile screen or tablet screen, the text will be in left position and the image will be in right position. So to do this, we need to use order last property, which is coming from Tailwind CSS. Now in Excel screen or above, it will have an order first property. Alright. Now within this div, we need to create an h2 tag, and this will have transform your, and we can give a br tag here, br, and it will have a brands after that. Now this h2 tag will have a class name of font title. Font will be bold. After that, it will have a text of 4xl property. In Excel screen or above, the text will be 5xl. It will have a leading of 10. So leading is our line height. Text will be center, and in Excel screen or above, the text will be left. Alright, if I save this, now we need to go to our page.tsx file as well. Now we need to import our transform here. So transform will be coming from component/transform. Save it. If I go to our project, as you can see, our transform your brands, this sentence is visible. So let's go to our transform component, and under this h2 element we can create a p tag, and this p tag will have this text. So let's copy this and paste it here, and this p tag will have a class name of text slate 500. It will have a font of body, which is Barlow, and it will have a font of semi bold, so the font width will be semi bold. Text will be LG. In Excel screen or above, the width will be 450 pixel. Alright, now if I save this and go back, as you can see, this is our text and it's visible in our screen. Now after that, we need to create this anchor tag. So what we can do, we can create a div here after this p element, paragraph element. So give a class name here, and this div will have a class name of font title. It will have a font bold property. It will have text XL property as well. It will have a group property, which is coming from Tailwind CSS. It will have a transition all property as well, and it will have a width fit property as well. Now within this div, we can create a p tag, and this p tag will be will have its sentence of learn more, and this p tag will have a class name of setIndex 999, which is the maximum. So after that, we can create a div here which will be acting as this border bottom. Now before that, we need to fix this and give a height of 7 so that it works. After that we can work on our border bottom. So this will have a class name of width full. The BG will be yellow, and it will also have an opacity of 30. So like this, rounded of 3xl. It will have a group. So whenever we hover over this div, it will trigger this div. Otherwise, it will be hidden. So what we can write, group over block. Otherwise, it will be hidden. So hidden. After that, we can give a translate y property of 2, and the z index will be 50. minus 50. So z of 50. Alright, I have added cursor pointer here. Now if I save this and go back, alright, it's not working because I'm not given the height. So height will be 2. Now as you can see, it's working. Alright, now let's import our image. So after this div, we can give a comment here and let's say right side. Now this side will hold our images, which is this one. So create a div. Now within this div, we need to create an image element, so which is coming from next image. Now this will have a source and alt attribute. Let me import these images from the public folder and show it to you. Alright, as you can see, I've imported my image, and let me go to our image element, and here I can write transform text top. Now this will have a class name of with full. It will be having a hidden property, so initially it will be hidden, and in Excel screen or above it will have a property of block. Now after this we can duplicate it and here change this to mobile. This will be Excel hidden and normally it will be blocked. So save this and go back, or let it reload. As you can see, this is visible and this section is done. Alright, so now we need to create this third section, which is this stand out to the right audience. Now what we can do, we can create another component and let's name it as standout.tsx. Type here RAFCE and change this to standout and out capital. Now we need to also change this to section. Alright. Now similarly, what we have done in our transform.tsx file, we need to have some class names here. So section will have a class name of with full. It will have a grid property. It will have grid calls 1 initially, and in Excel screen or above it will be grid calls 2. Then it will have a justify between, and the items will be center. Alright. Now within this section we need to create our left side. Now here the left side comprises of images, so let's create this div. What we can do, we can go to our transform.tsx file and we can simply copy this from here and come to our standout.tsx file and paste it here. Now it will initially show some error, so import our image from next image. After that we don't have this here, so remove that. We need to import our image, so let me import that and show it to you. Alright, as you can see, I've imported the images from my public folder, and this is the image for our desktop. So we can come here and write standout desktop, and this will have a image of standout mobile. Now this has similar class name as I have shown in transform.tsx file. The width will be full. In Excel screen it will be hidden for our mobile image, and it will have initial property of block. Similarly, in desktop image it will have a width full. It will have an initial property of hidden, and after that, whenever the screen size is above 1280 pixels, it will have a property of block. Now after that, what we can do, we can save this, and what we can do, we can give a alt here. So standout image for desktop. Simply copy this, come to here and paste and change this to mobile. Alright, now if I save this, now let me go to page.tsx and we need to import our standout component. So save it here. Alright, as you can see, the image is visible. Now let's create the right side. So this will be right side. So what we can do, we can simply go to our transform.tsx file and simply copy this div totally, because it has most of the class names similar. So replace this div with this one, and let's do one thing. Let's copy this one from here, and this h2 tag will have everything here, and paste it. We need to give a br tag here, Let's go to our final project, copy this paragraph, come back here, and this will have this one, and here the BG color will change. So the BG color will be soft red. Save it. Alright, as you can see, it is visible, but there are some error, like I want this image in left side. So what we can do, we need to remove this one which is coming from transform.tsx file, and if I save this, alright, as you can see, everything is correct. If I hover, as you can see, the border bottom is also visible. Now if I reduce the screen size, alright, as you can see, this is how it's looking in mobile screen. Now we are done with this section, so let's create this one. Now this one is pretty simple. We need to create another file, and let's name it as graphics.tsx. Type here RFCE and change this div to section. Now this section will have a class name of Excel Flex. Whenever the screen size is Excel or above, it will have a flex property. It will have item center property as well. The width will be full, and it will have justify center property. After that, we need to create a div, and this div will hold our images. So this div will have a class name of width full, and it will have a relative property. Within this, we need to create image for our desktop version. So import image element from next image. You'll have a source and alt as well. Alright. Now let me import the images required in this page, which is our graphics page, from the public folder and show it to you. Alright, as you can see, I have imported the images. Now here the image will be graphic design desktop, and after that we will create another image for graphic design mobile. So it will be graphic design mobile. Now both of this will have some class name, so let us skip that. So this will have a class name of width full. Object will be contain. Initially it will be hidden, and Excel screen or above it will be blocked. Now the mobile image will also have some class name, so give a class name here, and the class names will be width full. Object will be contain. It will have a block property initially, and in Excel screen or above it will be hidden. Save this, and if I go back, now this is not visible. I need to import it here, so it will be graphics, which is coming from components folder. If I save this, as we don't have any another image, so it is taking the whole width of our screen. So let's fix that. So simply duplicate this div and change this to, and we need to change this image, so it will be photograph desktop, and here it will be photograph file. Save this. Alright, as you can see, these both are coming side by side. Now we need to add some text here. If I go back to our final project, as you can see here. Now to create that text, what we can do, we can come to our left side first. Under this mobile image, create a div. Now this div will have some class names. So give a class name here, and it will have an absolute property. It will have a bottom of 10. In MD screen or above, it will have a bottom of 64. In Excel screen or above, it will have a bottom of 10. It will have a left of 0. It will have a flex property. It will have also flex all property. Items will be center. It will have justify center property as well. It will have text center. It will have width full. Now the text color will be this graphic design text, which is coming from tailwind.config.ts file, and it will also have a space y of 10. Alright. Within this div, we'll have an h2 tag. and this h2 tag will have a class name of font title. Font will be bold, text will be 2xl, and in empty screen above, text will be 5xl. Now this h2 tag will have this sentence, graphic design, and under this h2 element we'll have a paragraph tag. Paragraph tag will have a class name of font body, we'll have text lg, we'll have font semi bold as well, and in empty screen or above the width will be 400 pixel and normally the width will be 300 pixel. Now now within this paragraph tag I need to copy this and paste it here. Alright, now if I save this and go to our project, as you can see, this is visible. Now similarly, what I can do, I can simply copy this div, come back here, and under this photograph mobile I can paste it, and I need to change something like this color. Now I need to change something like this paragraph and this heading will be changed. So come back here to our final project, copy this, change our h2 element, also copy this paragraph from here, and I will simply paste it. Now if I go back, you can see both of these are visible along with this section. So this graphics section is complete. So till now we have completed till this much. If you want the full code of this project, the GitHub link will be in the description. You can grab it from here. And if you like this video, hit the like button, share it, and subscribe to my channel. Now let's start creating our testimonial section. So to create our testimonial section, we can create another file in our components folder, and let's say testimonial.tsx. Alright, type here RAFCE. It will create a React functional component. Change this to section as always. Now this section will have a class name of width full, and the py will be 32. Under this div we'll have a h2 tag, and this will say client testimonial. So copy this and paste it here. Now this h2 element will have a class name of text center. It will have font title. It will be having text Excel. Font will be bold, and it will have text slate of 400 as text color, and the margin bottom will be 16. If I save this and go back, it's not visible because I forgot to import it here. So come to our page.tsx file and simply import our testimonial here. Save this. As you can see, this is visible. Now what we can do, we can go to our testimonial and let's remove this. Alright, now as you can see, the size is pretty similar. Alright, now let's create our this testimonials. So before that we need to import this images. So let me import that, and after that we can create our testimonials. I have imported the user images here. Now let's create our testimonial section. Now create a div here under this h2 element. Now this div will have a class name of grid. It will have grid calls 1 initially. In Excel screen or above, it will be grid calls 3. It will have justify between property. Items will be center. Gap will be 10. And in Excel screen or above, the gap will be 0. And it will have a space y of 5. And in Excel screen or above, the space y will be 0. Y. Now what we can do here, we can create a component for this and simply pass the values from that component here, but it's pretty simple and it's only 3 of them, so we can simply write it here. So create a div here. So this will be our first user. Create a div here, and this div will have a class name of flex. We'll also have a class name of flex call. Items will be center and space y of 40. So 40. Now within this div, we'll have another div, and this div will have a class name of overflow hidden. And under this div, we'll have our image of our first user. So src user1, alt will be user1 image, and this image will have a class name of rounded full. Width will be 20 and height will be 20. After that, under this div, we need to create our paragraph tag, and this paragraph tag will have a class name of width of 400 pixel. Text will be center. Font will be body, and it will have a text LG property. Font will be semi bold, and text will be, and the text color will be text slate 600. And after that, we can simply copy this and paste it here. Now after this p tag, we can create another div, and this div will hold our name and the position. So it will have a class name of text center. Text center will have a space y of 3, and within this div we can create a p tag, and this p tag will have the name, so Emily R, and this p tag will have a class name of font bold. It will have a font title property as well, and the text will be Excel size. After that, we need to create another p tag, and this p tag will hold the position, so it will be marketing director. Alright, now this p tag will have a class name of text XS, which is our font size. The font will be semi bold. Font will be body, which is the font we are using for our body. So, and the text color will be text slate 400, and the opacity will be 80. If I save this and go back, as you can see, the first user is visible. Now similarly, what we can do, we can simply copy this div, and this is our second user, paste it here. Then we'll have our, then under this we'll have our third user, so paste it. Now we need to change something here, so the image will be user2, and if I go to my final project, the testimonial will change as well. So copy this paragraph, paste it here, and the name will be Thomas S, and the position will be Chief Operating Officer. So copy it from there and paste it here. Now the second user is done. Let's come to our third user. So change this to user3. Now these are images which I imported from public folder. This testimonial will be this one. So copy this, paste it here. The name will be Jenny F. So paste it here, and the position will be business one. Alright, now if I save this and go back, as you can see, our testimonial section is done, and if I reduce the screen size, this is how it will be visible in our mobile screen. Now as our testimonial section is done, we can start focusing on our this section, which is images. So what we can do, similarly what we have done earlier, simply come back here to our components folder, create a file named as image.tsx, type here rfce, it will create a React functional component, give here section. Now we need to import images from our public. Now we need to simply import our images from our public folder. So let me import that and then show it to you. Alright, as you can see, I have imported the images. Now these images we are going to use in this component. This section will have a class name of grid. It will have a grid calls of it will have a class name of grid, then it will have a grid calls of 2, and in Excel screen or above it will be grid calls 4. Now within this section we can create a div, and this div will have the image for our desktop and mobile as well. So what we can do, we can simply import image from next image. So we need to simply import image from next image, and this will have a source of image1 desktop, and let's give a alt of image1. Simply duplicate it, and this will be image1 mobile, and both of this will have some class name. So the width will be full, object will be contain, it will have a hidden property, and in Excel screen it will be block. This is for desktop image, and for mobile image it will have a class name of block. Excel will be hidden, in Excel screen on above it will be hidden, the width will be full, and it will have a object content property as well. Save it. Now we need to duplicate it for 4 times. Now if I save this, I need to import it in my page.tsx file. So it will be images, which is coming from component folder. We don't need this. So if I go back, and as you can see, our images are visible. Now I've also handled how it will look like in mobile. So if I reduce the screen size, as you can see, this is how it will look like in mobile. Alright, now last thing left from this project is creating this simple footer. So what we can do, we can simply create another file, and let's name it as footer.tsx, and this will have a rfc property as well, and let's create the React functional component. After that, this div, let's change it to section, and this section will have a class name of flex. Will have a flex call property, items will be center and justify between, py will be 16, and the background color will be bg footer, which is coming from again tailwind.config.ts file. Now after that, we can create a div here, and this div will hold our svg for this one. As you can see, this is our final project. Whenever I hover over this logo, it changes its color to white. Now this is not possible if I use image element. If it is possible, then you can comment down below how it is done, because I don't know how to do that. So to do this, I used the raw svg, which is present over in public folder. So this div, which is a parent div for our svg, will have a margin bottom of 8 class name, will have a group property, and the cursor will be pointer. After that, we need to copy the svg for our logo. So let's go to our public folder, and this is our logo svg. So Control A and Control C, come back here and paste it. Here I need to give a class name, so give here a class name. It will have a fill of graphic design text, so the color will be this green color, and whenever we hover it will have a group hover, so group whenever we hover it will have fill white, and it will have a transition all property as well, so that it smoothens it out. Footer I need to import in my page.tsx file, so below this image element, below this image component, we need to import footer. So if I save this, alright, it's not working. The hover property is not working because given the class name in wrong position, it will have the class name here in this path. So save it. Now let's reduce the size. If I save this and go back, as you can see, now the text color is this green, and whenever I hover, changes its colors to white. Now let's create the nav link. So below this div, I can create a div here, and as we created our nav link in constant file, we can import it here and simply map over it. So simply what we done earlier, we'll have a data and index, and this will have a link property which is coming from next link, and this link will have a href of data.href, and within this we need to write data.name within the curly braces, remember. Now this link will also have a key property of idx, and it will have some class names, so let's give that. So the text color will be graphic design text, which is this deep green color. The font will be body. It will have text base, which is 14, I guess. It will have a font size. It will have a font size of 16 pixel. It will have font semi bold. Whenever we hover, the text will be white, and it will have transition all property as well. Transition all. Now if I save this and go back, as you can see, our nav links is visible. So this is our footer nav link. Now let's do one thing. In our parent div, which holds our nav link, we can give a class name here and write flex. Items will be center and give a gap of 10 and margin bottom of 16. Now if I save this and go back, as you can see, there is some spacing in between these nav links. Alright, now let's create our now let's create this one. So similarly, what we have done in our logo, we need to import raw svg here and change the class names here. So what I can do, I can create a div here, and this div will have a class name of flex. It will have items center property, and the gap will be 5, which will have, under this div we will have another div which will have a class name of cursor pointer. So the cursor will be pointer, and it will also have a group property. And within this div, I need to import my Facebook logo. So this one, simply copy this, come to our footer and paste it here. So here in this path, I need to add the class name. So the class name will be group over, it will be fill white, and it will have a transition all property as well. Transition all property. Now similarly, I can copy this div and paste it for 3 times so that I can change this svg and it will show the output. So as you can see, our icons are visible. So with this, we have completed our project. this is how it's looking in desktop screen, and if I reduce the screen size, this is how it will be looking in our mobile screen. Now if you want the full code of this project, it will be in my GitHub, so the GitHub link will be in the description below, so you can check that. Connect me if you want in Twitter, Instagram, whatever link is in the description, and see you again in the next one. Till then, peace.